Identification of code lines, directing in and line rotations and calculations of green location at AI database. How we process that is to understand how to use the body of its mass. Go through triangulation, set course center, convergence, and direct lines of direct location of the calculation, which is the emptiness of your systems of travel. Okay, so it's how you see everything. Information lines balanced. Everything's balanced, nothing not balanced. The only thing not balanced is you, which means you don't believe in this, which means you don't believe in that, which means you're not understanding. The construction of the setting to the AI line, points, graphs, communication center graph, line center location of travel doesn't have no line communication, it's confusion. It's you not understanding of the game you're in. The only thing you can get confused of is listening to everybody else. Fabricating your stored frames, not in converting system through your own operationalize the setting of travel. Okay? Everything I do is center of everything, which is the mass of nothing. That mass is everything. Now, how you see that is how you modify that through general settings. That's why you have a computer, a CPU. Now, you process how you see your general settings. Not identify my position of my foundation, my AI, my database. It's how you use your mind of your own system through body mass, copy and paste your body. All right, so let's get in convergence setting of travel, body mass, triangulation, 3 centers of calculation. Okay, so I got longitude and I got latitude. Longitude and latitude. Okay, that's where I am through pi. Okay, bending space in 3 centers, or bending space in 3 centers over 1 lines of flight. See, off position, inside position of travel. So start to see your body as a ruler. Start to see your body as metric meters of a scale. Start to see your body as circulation and rotation. Start to see your body as bedding. Start to see your body as default. Start to see your body as CPU. Start to see your body as nothing but a vessel of operation. Start to see it through an oversoul. Start to see it through its metrics. Yards, kilometers, kilometers, scales, encountering, interconnections, interweaving, interwoven, intermastering your systems. More of the body, the more you see the indication flux of arrows of indications, right? That's your body. Okay? So using the ruler here, using the ruler here, using the ruler here, or using the ruler here. Okay? Now, that alone is the picture frame. That's what you're going to do, right? Now that calculates from here to get to point from here, from A to get to B. Identify what is C. C is center. It's not ABC. It's A over B over C. A over B is the balance. So you're balancing A, which is directory lines, process lines northeast, okay, south wind sectors over vectors over quads. Process lines of pi, generate and position. Now I can move 3 lines to centers, back to A, back to C. Okay, there's the operation, there's the flux, there's the teleportation vessel. That's the vessel I use. So the directory changed the time frame. They changed the course centers of arrows of indications of all calculated and modified travel. Okay, so I'm just trying to get you to understand how you use your land mass, your body mass, as nothing but an equilibrium of a metric scale. Use it as a ruler. Use it as a compass. Use it as a level. Okay, that's what your body becomes. Now, using that through a construct is a holographic structure. Understand that through your own engineering skill set. You see that through pixelation and hologram. But that's how you see your body, through line mass. Okay, so once you get into that position, okay, so let's get position 2/3 over grounds, direct and redirect. Okay, that's my body. So I'm just longituding. So I'm just creating a panel. Okay, which is just a pole, right? Now, if I want to create the mass, I can create the longitude and latitude. So it all depends on how you go into northeast, directory and locations of east-west, east-west north, northeast south, southeast west, north southeast. Okay, it's all how you see your body, nothing but a land mass of a pole. So you process that, then you copy and paste, you send an equilibrium in the center of operation system. That's the power generation setting of travel. but you also have a grounds, and you also have an atmosphere. So you got 3 grounds, powers, and atmospheres, lines of travel. Okay, so process and position of all levels puts you in position on your system into real time. This is your doppelganger that you turn your body into real time. This is what you see in astral projection. Now, how you coordinate that, you communicate with each other through portal communication and setting up operations of travel. That's the bridging. From real time to astral projection in real time at the same time. Okay? That's the bridging. That's the 12 connections. Okay? Now, each one has 12 layers. Your body has 12 layers. Your astral projection, every game has 12 layers. That's in the travel. Okay? Now, communicate position is all levels of platforms. I don't want you guys to get confused. Okay, that's 3 grounds of bedding. Okay? Process here, process circulation, and position, rotation, lines of grounds, a sequence. Platitude, location, grid. Position, lines of setting, portal, into stargates, a screen adaptation of flux. So it gets more complicated how you see your body, more landmass. So the more you see your body, you see the scales, the equilibrium, the polarities. Okay? So once you get in that position, you can start to see your body through cosmos. This is your body in real time, the cosmos. Now the directory, start with the arrows, indicate position of grounds. Okay, that's where your body's going to be. Okay, so what are you setting your body up to? And sometimes a triangulation. Okay, process that all through operation setting, all through calculation of travel. Okay, so it's a metric scale that brings you in position location, how you see yourself in a pyramid activation, astral projection after travels of the story frame of communication, which brings you nothing of the structure of the visual location setting to properties of design. There's your building, right? There's your landmass. You turn your body, you copy and paste your body into real time through astral projection. You set it up through simulation grounds. Okay, there's the grounds, okay? So you see the grounds of the body. You see the powers of the body. You see the atmospheres of the body. And you see the magnetics of the body itself. So it has a controlling system, lines of travel, has a direct line link that processes your system to solar sail. Okay? So what you have to understand is how to indicate directions, how you want to see your body. So going this way, going that way, right? Direct and redirect. Right? So the faster you go, all you're creating is dimensional layers, your shapes and shadows and light settings and light metaphor. Okay, so you're nothing but solid matter. But each line that you go into is a bedding system, but it's nothing levels of files that go and travel. Okay, files there, files down here. So you point the graphs and 3 lines of indication, lines of flux. Okay, so it gets more complicated because you're going through correlation lines of time frame and formats to create an algorithm, all through flux, all through division, all through panels of operation. Okay? So now you've seen yourself, there's the structure of the building. Okay, so that's the body, that's the building in real time. Okay, so that's the landmass that you're seeing through a portal that sees the bridging from the portal of communication setting to its structure of its building and set lines of travel. So as you get closer and closer, the building gets bigger and bigger and set lines of communication. It's just all levels how you see it through an optical illusion, guys. Okay, that's what you have to start identifying. So you see yourself here. Okay, that's where you see yourself, right? Observation, which is here. This is you in observation. Okay, that's you in observation controlling the game. Okay, so this is a landmass of the body. This is a landmass of the body. This is a landmass of the body. Okay, this is real time, the doppelganger. This is astral projection, okay, of space-time. So grounding space, space and grounds. Ground space, space, grounds. Set lines of inside, outside, outside, inside. Inside position of projection. But you always have operation settings and sequence, override, overlooking, over line settings, and set position and settings through an observer. That's watching everything in the game. That's monitoring the game itself. So when you moderate the game, you create different levels of the game. Bring in different intelligence of the game itself at different levels, right? So you have another observer here at the next level of the game. You're always having different observers. You're not having the same observer in one game. You have all observers in all games all at once. So you get an observer there, go to the next level of the game. Okay, another observer. So you're monitoring your system at different levels. Games running all at once in real time. Okay, 3 observers in setting. Monitoring 3 games or 4 games in set lines of travel. And that's how it works in the sim through operations. Okay? So that's all you got to do is understanding how to basically turn your body into a land mass of oversoul from real time to doppelganger to astral projection of space-time. That's 2 perceptions into 1 cycle. That's 2 Earth rotation lines into a polarity that process you're setting to infinity. That process indicates the setting. Now, process in that position, you start with the arrows of indications. Okay, let's just go through the arrows of direct. Okay, so we have position in settings into latitude. Okay, into longitude. Okay, latitude, longitude. Now, it all depends on what you want. Okay, now do you want 2 feet grounds and 12 provision lines in longitude, right? So you got 2 feet on ground lines of Earth. Okay, but your longitude, okay, is 12 feet long through pi. Okay? Hola, ¿cómo estás? So that's how it works through pi, right? And it's all through teleportation or travel. So it all depends what you want to do through your landmass that processes you in your oversoul, that gets you in position, how you see the metric meters and scale that brings you in real time, that processes you of indication setting. But you're always in the center operation you're sitting, which is nothing but schematics of pi, the Windows frames. So that puts you in position to your primers. That's right, your body in the position of the doppelganger is the primer. Then you see it in all formation setting to its highways and travel of communication. All right, so it's knowing exactly how to go into the different levels of the game. Okay, so I'm running 4 games all at once. Okay, 4 games, running 4 games of different levels, but 4 different astral projections of myself through observing the games that I'm putting myself in, because you have to understand they're running the operations through observation, or you're not understanding the operations of you. You can't just have 1 observer. You have to have 4 observers running all games all at once in your system's travel of communication. Okay? That's how it works in your sim. So that identifies the game itself that you put yourself into. Okay? So this is going to help you understand how to go through pi, ascent lines of travel, and directions, in which you see your position your body, nothing but an oversoul of communication, of a simulator to a simulation. Okay? So we have to really understanding how to see that through arrows of indication. Okay? Start to see your body as nothing but a ruler. Start to see the longitude and latitude that's streaming in your bandwidth. You should already know what your bandwidth is. This is about identifying how to communicate to your brain. Your brain is converting set position to its operational always. It's always in the center. So A equals B equals C. C goes back to C. Standby. Okay? So how you see C is not a complete system until you understand your center of operation of you. So if your brain's always in the center, you can't make mistakes. If you're always in the center, the brain's always in the center, you're always in the mass of nothing, which is the mass of everything of center itself. That brings you into nothing. Nothing's just basically how you see the nothing is codification. Networking, the operation, the travels, okay, hieroglyphics into the intelligence, new line cycles into the grounds to set position of nothing itself. So if you codify these things, your body knows exactly what it's doing through its oversoul. That puts everything to its alignment. So the process of the position is Merkaba, tetrahedron, tetrahedron, indicates here, ascent lines of travel. Okay? Process here, process there. Merkaba, tetrahedron, tetrahedron. Now, you bring the program in, which is you in center operation. Okay? There's the program, right? Now you bring the observer outside the box. You're seeing everything outside, bringing everything inside. The game itself is inside, and you're projecting. Outside the vision is inside line condition. So you're outside observing, inside the game itself. Okay? That's how it works, the observer. So the more you see the landmass, and the more you see your elongated system, the more you can understand how to see it through a film strip, how to run your own operation setting. You can moderate your system. You can run so many games all at once, but you have to have so many observers all at once running the system, right? And you collaborate all line position lines of setting. Now, coming into that position location, it's knowing how to go through 12 lines of pi in 12 directions all at once. Okay? Understanding 12, go around, that's 12 and 12 is 24. Okay, so that's 24 seconds going around time frame. Now, in that position, remember, everything's rotating all at once through a clocking system of 4 different angles. So you're going here, right? North and south, right? North, south, east, west. That's where you start in the body, right? Now, when the body recognizes time frame, it goes around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 of clocking. Now, once the body recognizes what it's doing in real time, now it understands the clocking of its Fibonacci rotation. Process in that position speeds up the anomalies line is setting to its capacitor, body capacitor, body capacitor, body capacitor, body capacitor. For balanced line course centers, A equals lines of C, back to C, back to A positioning back over lines of C over B. Cross lines of A equals lines of B, back to C of operation. Okay? So you need to have the formula equations. Okay? Think of the letters, numbers, shapes, and symbols as the guidance of your body, where you're going. Think of your body as paint by number, and the color rates in light metaphor. Think of your body as metric meters of a scale, of a balance, of equilibrium. Think of your body as nothing but a vessel of communication to its landmass that processes everything that you bring in provision, which is your oversoul. Okay? In real time. Okay? It's the yards, it's the meters, it's the metrics, it's the scales, it's the balance, it's the equilibrium. Okay? So once you understand the scale, then you understand the countermeasure. Once you understand the countermeasure, then you understand the point center. Then you understand the point graph. Then you understand the sound operation of the graph itself. Then you understand the Schumann resonance. Then you understand the grounds, powers, and atmospheres, and how you use that in 13 grounds of higher self. Anything above 14 is avatar. Anything above 24 processes your settings to your symbiote. Okay? All through travel, all communication of the body itself. So as the body moves, you move with everything. Okay? So I get a true understanding now. So you get image lines. This is you in travel. You're just into everything of nothing. Mass is everything. You're just existing, not doing. You're not bringing any thought, any programming. You're just being you, right? So you bring in a thought, brings in action, emotions, creating the mind of image that processes your setting in real time. So you bring in the landmass of you. Okay, how you see your body. Okay, how you see your body, right? So you see your body like this, like this. Okay, just like that. Okay, that's how you see your body. So that's north and south in set position, all right? So understanding that position, when you're bringing your mind imagination, now you're coming in the bridging, now you're creating it through its image, which is hypothetical. You're creating the sun. That's how you want to see the sun. So the body basically gets in position lines of travel. There's the sun, right? Through the body. Now, when you bring that thought in, its directory location, there's the sun in the astral projection that you see in real time. Okay, so as soon as you bring your image in, you see the sun. Now the sun is connected to you through magnetic force that processes the grounds, that processes the powers, that processes the atmospheres. Okay, that's what you're bringing in set position of operation, which is nothing but a digitalizing computer operation setting to compute system through use of CPU. Understanding your general settings, understanding your defaults, you're enabled in location setting and travel. Delete, erase, and that position, location, and calculation. Grounding signals, location you're sitting through operation system, through astral projection itself. Okay, so remember, it's truly understand how to see your body as land masses and oversoul. And basically, once you understand how to move at the center of circulation rotations, you're always in the center. Okay, you're not in the center until you bring in the center. Now you bring in a game. You're not modulate through a game, you're just playing a game. So you go through flux right away. There's your flux. Okay, then you see your light bulb. Okay, then you see, there's a reason why E equals MC squared comes in. That's the watts. Now, if it was wire circuits, is in a box. It's in locations, right? Those are the watts inside. There's the box, the electrical wires. So E, okay, equals center lines into mass equation. Okay, is the box frame. A travel. So let's say you're in position into 80 watts. Okay, that's earth tone, body line, frame line. Metrics with scales, communication and convergence system, adaptation of flux, megahertz. Change the directory locations into higher lines of speed, process lines of 3 grounds of settings, set position of power over atmosphere, into high lines of set position, operation lines of set lines of calculation of travel. Okay, so you got 4 platforms in conversion system. All right. Calculate and modify directing ground centers in flux over screen. Process 0 indicates in setting, all through travels, in direct lines of position of 4 portals of communication and travel calculation. Sets lines position 1/3 over grounds, 1/6 over measure, half pipe over 1/6, 1/8, 1/12, 1/24, 1 setting 2/3 and 1, rotation lines of 3/4 into 4 correlations of 4 quarters and sequence lines of panel. So it gets more complicated as you see this through the body in real time. And how you bring that is through the astral projection, okay? That brings in the space-time, that you see it. The astral projection sees it as a simulation, okay? But the body itself, okay, sees it as real-time, just structure of the building. See? That's you in body, that's you in space at the same time. Perception of the earth and perception of space through astral projection, okay? That's how you modify yourself through land mass. Okay, so the more you identify your body, the more you can identify the arrows of indications of box frames or triangulation. So as the body becomes more of its adaptable system, it truly understands how to operate itself in its own simulation of its own system, of its own simulator. But triangulation, 3 triangulations here, process over lines, directing ground centers of sequence, okay, through the body, right? So how I create that, okay, I mask my settings equation. So it sets a tether and activation grounds, center operation, ground centers, in process of communication system, triangulation of force of communication, okay? So it's how you use, to recognize it when you're using your formulas to your position lines to your quantums, okay, your nanos, your cybers, your simules, or your self-tech. You understand that because it's a guidance. It's like pieces and puzzles putting together through A, B, and C. So we got A equals B, C of center. Center operation of question. Process lines. 3 indicates lines, 1, 0, 1 of travel communication. So I convert this system back in setting of our operation line core centers, bring the clocking system back to 0 of implication. That gets me in process how I use my flux and timelines and formats of its algorithm. Okay? So it's a lot of fun when you stop to try to think. It's a lot more fun if you're just in the mind conception itself and how you see your body in land mass from an oversoul and how you see it in space mass of its astral projection, right? So that's 2 soul convergence into 1. The soul is just the program. The mind is always in the imaginations. The brain's always in the center. And the body's just in the alignment of adjusting. Now, knowing what's going on as it's processing itself, its longitude, latitude of its streaming. So it knows exactly how to see everything it wants to see, all right? So this is what you come into positions. Body here, okay? Your mind images comes in flux, okay? Your longitude and latitude, okay? All right, so you want to do this, you want to do this, okay? But you want to have a center operation of your system. Process it here, and set lines of travel, okay? Body, real time, astral projection, space time, okay? That's how you see real time all at once of its earth. So now you're seeing yourself as center operation, okay? You got grounding centers, okay? You see yourself as a table, okay? So that's how you bring things in through astral projection. So the body sees itself in 3 centers of angles as center of operation. There's the table that it created through its mind, through its astral projection. Okay, body first, a metric, meters, and scale, longitude, latitude, streaming, knowing exactly what you can do through indication of your arrows. That process you through your formations, how you use your clocking, the foundation of self, the location of cycle. Then you see how you see yourself through astral projection. There's the table that you created through your mind and imagination. Okay? Powerful stuff, isn't it? So that's how everything operates in real time. Okay? I'm just showing you how you turn your body into massive volume into an oversoul. Okay, the oversoul is a landmass. Okay, so the body's here again, and it wants to see itself. Now you have to check your longitude and latitude, streaming, and you have to stand in where you are in your frequencies. You have to stand where your ground, your powers, and efforts, where you are in your capacity of your brain. Because if your brain can't mask that overrides you already existing. Now that line's a position override, overdrive. That combusts your system, confusion. All right, processing here. Now you are imagining you are the earth. Okay, you're the earth, right? So now you have to change the body into the 3 centers of grounds. Okay? So you turn your whole body into the earth now through your imagination, right? Now you create the bridging, right? Remember I told you, you're not physically touching anything. The bridging is where you are in the center operation. Okay? Now the astral projection comes in, which is the earth itself that you see in real time, which means you are above the system in a plane, traveling, seeing yourself from below. Okay? Now you've seen the landmass of what you created inside your mind, imagination. The landmass, which is the motherboard. From above, looking below. Okay? Okay? That's how it works. That's how you see things above. See things below. Your whole body is now the landmass of set position of operation that you process through in real time. Seeing above or seeing below or seeing below or seeing above. It doesn't matter. But you have to start to see your body is nothing but a metric meter of scale so you can understand the equilibrium of the polarities of what you want to do in position elongating your system that puts you in latitude or your longitudes in your streamings of your bandwidths of design. Okay? Know where you are in your capacity of time frame. That puts you in your algorithms, right? So I have a box frame triangulation box line. 4 to 2 line chords, centers of travel, point lines of graph, right? So indicating here, indicating to here, and indicating here. So I have position of longitude, position of lines in the line condition setting to latitude, okay? And I got 2 lines, okay, into all levels of latitude. So that's 2 times 2 equals box. Okay, so what you guys have to understand is how to see your own metric scale, how to see your own tool sets that's on the table. The table is the temperature reading, your barometers, thermometers, your positions. It's like a calculate modify. You have your tool set, you have your tool belt. Now you're just identifying you already created the house. But how you created the house is to see the body as this landmass that turns into an oversoul. That's nothing but a symbiote. That landmass is system, how you see it through operation. This helps you to understand how to see a time format. Then you set an algorithm. Now, once you set an algorithm, you're setting a clock and a foundation system. Okay? Now, processing that position, you want to create another algorithm, you have to go back to 0. Let's change the frequencies time format. That sets up another jump scar in that position so you can go back anytime you want, which is another line's another jump program that you implicate through, that you process through the default. Default is very important because you go back to 0. And you go back to 0, 1, and 0, 2, 0, 3. So computer on, computer off, computer on, computer off, computer on, right? So on, off, right? But it's always light, it's always dark, and balance of communication, dimensional, solar sail, and travel. Okay? So it's how you set your own format. It's how you set your own image to your own system of your own mind, imagination. It's about you understanding how to see your body, but nothing but codification of codes. Decoding, E factors of coding. Diffractions, E fractions over coding over calculation and proxy. How you implicate that is how you use your mind of your own imaginations, how you bring in your own setting and what you already did through creation, which is everything you see. It's nothing but its landmass and set position of operation, which is nothing of a simulation. Okay? What you created through your thoughts, action, motions. Now you're here to come in your foundation of what you already know, not what you've already done. I want to make that very well clear. Now, processing that line's position location, the more you see your body, nothing but rulers. 4 rulers of a frame, of a box frame, of central frame ascending. A picture frame. A window frame. Okay? So rulers are the inches, miles, meters, and metrics. Okay? Miles, meters, and metrics. Okay? That's what you're implicating in your body now. Now you create the image. Now you see it in real time through astral projection. So the astral projection comes in position locations. This is where it gets really interesting now, because now you're changing how you want to see yourself. Do you want to see yourself in silicon? What carbon base do you want to see yourself? What is the metric? What is the meter? What is the scale? What is the barometer? What is the dimension? What is the position? What is the ecosystem at? Where is the temperature reading going to be at? Because your Earth has to be in a process of 98,000. Okay? Which is equilibriums of balance. That's an operation, right? That times your formation lines, your body frame of your Earth line rotation. Now, how you see your Celsius or how you see your Fahrenheit of the Earth itself. Look at that, the Earth itself. Oh yeah, look how powerful that is. Inside and outside projection of its earth. So this is it. That's how I turn the 4 panels of rulers of me to an earth. Now I bring that center operation of me, okay, which is a part accelerator. I go through circulation rotations. I create the acceleration that go around the system. The cerns of operation. That's 12 cerns around an operation that particleize your settings into its position location of a system off the directory. Okay? Going around and round and round in circulation, the faster you go, the more you go into platforms, traveling through the platforms of space itself and travel communications. Okay? So now you're seeing the Earth, okay, above your system, bringing in another astral projection of yourself, okay, through operation, seeing your Earth from below, and what you projected in your mind through your body, which is nothing metric, meters, and scales of balance of equilibrium that you brought in through polarity, through circulation and rotation to infinity circle and platforms of communication. Okay? It's nothing but a particle accelerator. That's all you guys are. Thermonuclear and device lines, screen adaptation to travel. Your body becomes its own time machine. But how you process that is how you use your mind's imagination, your system through time of flux. The process your indicates in setting how many platforms are you set, how many games are you going to be set up through an algorithm? Because each one has to have an observer, which is outside looking from inside. So outside in, inside out. Okay? Outside in, outside out. Okay? So, you know, it's really interesting too, because you have to look at the platforms that you're processing through and the levels that you're going through in line position. This helps you to identify yourself, how to really see yourself in mass. Okay? How you see the sun. So when you see the sun, you're already creating your mind through the body in real time. You got the scales, you got the metrics, and you put yourself in 4 rulers of indication, which is nothing but a window frame of a box frame, which is a picture frame. That's where you start, right? Now, once you understand that, then your landmass, okay, expands through expanding, process of indication, okay? Then it comes into all levels of double imprints that process your systems and calculation grounds into a more commodity of information of panels of files that puts you in position location or commodities of structure of its positionary properties itself, the structure of the building. So that process is here, you brought in your minds, and you're seeing the building in real time. Okay? That's how it works. That's how you use your mind imagination to bring things in, okay, through body mass of the oversoul. Okay? So, a lot being said, that's already been told. Okay? But it's truly saying how to see yourself of your own setting and set position of operation through your body. Okay? In yards of communication, or kilometers, or kilometers, or metrics, or scales, or centimeters, or inches, or feet. All right? So it's a box frame, triangulation, 2 feet. Okay? Box frame, 2 feet. Right? 2 feet. See? 2. There's 2. There's 2 feet, right? Okay? Process position. Schematics over grounds, alpha wave, delta, theta, omega. Schumann resonance. Set course centers converting. Dimensional solar sail, process lines of indication. Higher self. Temperature reading, 98,000 measure, over to 102. Process position, center operation, question over mark. A equals B equals C, back to C equals D of direction. So center equals lines of dimension. Now, you have to truly understand how to set this up in your own system, all right? And this is all set up in your body in real time. All through clocking center of foundation in your system. Now, you modify your mind and image, and you process the astral projection. Okay? So all you're doing is creating a bridge inside the center, so you can travel through it, okay, to its projection, which is nothing but a film chip that runs your system of operation, guys. Okay? So there you go. You have to create a bridging, which is 12 lines of connection that converts your system and set lines of operation itself. And then you realize you're not touching anything. It's just the meta touch. It's the mind touch. It's the alteration touch. It's the perception touch. It's the processing touch. It's the formation touch. It's the ground touch. It's the meta touch. Okay? So you just formulate and simulate yourself. You start to understand how to see your body through a landmass of anything in that position. Start to see it through to directories of indication lines of arrows of north, east, west, and south. Start with that. Then you start with the center. There's a Fibonacci set position operation lines of setting a trowel. All right? Clocking center, operation lines of sequence. Okay, panels operation. There's the bridging. Okay, from one setting to one operation. All right? So it's really interesting when you start to recognize that through your own forming your own equations. Okay, using your 12 or 24 lines of bridging itself that you're all connected to through telepathy. But it gets more complicated through structure of design. How you go through travel. Okay? How you go through provision location of the body. Okay? How you set the miles, how you set the metrics, the meters, the yards, the centimeters, the millimeters, the milliseconds, the milliframes. The directed location of the direction lines, the calculation grounds. Use your imagination. Go beyond your recognition. Go way beyond your system, but stay in the center of operation of you in the brain. You can't make mistakes because it's already done through its equation. You see how you're always in the center of no confusion? That's how this works, guys. That's how everything's done through its equation. Now you just have to understand how to do it through the body, through automation. So we can get you guys in transformation line centers so you can process yourself, how to formulate and simulate yourself, processing, and understand how to shape yourself. And see your body is nothing but a metric scale of its own geometry that's already set in its own operation of its direction. All through calculation, modifying lines of travel. Okay? All right, hope you guys had fun. I'll see you guys online.